Well, I can use the NVIDIA, but I don't want it to change my... Are we going right now?
Yeah, we're going.
Are we live?
Who knows the way this morning's gone? I'm going to look.
I mean, good Lord, let a guy know. I was on camera, my God.
Oh, no. Yeah, nothing.
Wait, is there like an intro that I'm missing?
It should be playing.
But it doesn't play for us back here?
No, it apparently didn't play. We're live.
This whole time, while I was on camera. You asshole.
Yeah, while you were on camera. Morning, everybody. We are having all kinds of issues this morning, so we're just going to go with it.
I wasn't having any issues.
Looks like we got Jaffo and low-spec Linux laptop and Southern Bell. So Chad's not here this week, so you got me, Brahma, and of course, Mr. MAdChismo. And we have no idea where Slenderdad is. So we're just
How's it going, everybody? I'm me, he's him, we're we, and this is us.
Exactly. It's just like when we were together in Fort Worth.
Yep.
Yeah.
We are the YouTube political talk equivalent to Braille. People feel us when we speak.
All right. Yeah, that was something. So what was supposed to play to start the show was the intro and then this. So we'll just go ahead and start with this because this kind of sums up everything.
And it's not gonna play.
It'll play.
Es ist dem Feind gelungen, die Front in breiter Formation zu durchbrechen. Im Süden hat der Gegner Zossen genommen und stößt auf Stahnsdorf vor. Der Feind operiert jetzt am nördlichen Stadtrand zwischen Frohnau und Pankow. Und im Osten ist der Feind bis zur Linie Lichtenberg, Marsdorf, Karlsruhe.
All I see is a gray screen.
It's not playing.
I mean, all I see is a gray screen, brother.
EV Mux is screwing us big this week.
Yeah, that's why you gotta use something simple.
Steiner.
Like what?
StreamYards.
StreamYards?
Steiner konnte nicht genügend Kräfte für einen
Oh, it is playing on YouTube. I'm looking at it now.
Steiner ist nicht erfolgt.
We're gonna monitor the stream. Although I can't hear it, so I don't know what's happening.
Well, they can hear you.
Es bleiben im Raum Keitel, Jodl, Krebs und Burgdorf.
Somebody said that the date was set for the tomorrow.
Das war ein Befehl! Der Angriff Steiners war ein Befehl! Wer schickt Sie? Dass Sie es wagen, sich meinen Befehl zu widersetzen! So weit ist das also gekommen. Das Militär hat mich belogen! Jeder hat mich belogen, sogar die SS! Die gesamte Generalität ist nichts weiter als ein Haufen niederträchtiger, treuloser Feiglinge!
Mein Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verbringen...
Nicht als Feiglinge! Verreiter, Versager!
Mein Führer, was Sie da sagen, ist ungeheuerlich.
Die Generalität ist das Geschmeiß des deutschen Volkes! Sie ist ohne Ehre! Sie nennen sich Generale, weil Sie Jahre auf Militärakademien zugebracht haben, nur um zu lernen, wie man Messer und Gabel hält! Jahrelang hat das Militär meine Aktionen nur behindert. Es hat mir jeden nur den Widerstand in den Weg gelegt. Ich hätte gut daran getan, von Jahren alle höheren Offiziere liquidieren zu lassen, wie Stalin. Ich war nie auf einer Akademie. Und doch habe ich allein auf mich gestellt. Ganz Europa erobert. Verräter! Von allem Anfang an bin ich so verraten und betrogen worden. Es wurde ein ungeheurer Verrat geübt am deutschen Volke. Aber alle diese Verräter werden bezahlen. Mit ihrem eigenen Blut werden sie bezahlen. Sie werden es saufen in ihrem eigenen Blut.
Bitte gerne. Jetzt beruhig dich doch.
Befehle sind in den Wind gesprochen. Es ist unmöglich, unter diesen Umständen zu führen. Es ist aus. Der Krieg ist verloren.
This is a freaking mini-series you got going.
Aber wenn Sie, meine Herren, glauben, dass ich deswegen Berlin verlasse, irren Sie sich gewaltig. Eher jage ich mir eine Kugel durch den Kopf.
Well, I can't hear you, Brahma, by the way, if you're talking. But you can hear me. Wow, what a great clip. All right. By myself. Wait, he didn't even let me know I'm back on camera. What an ass. All right, well, while we wait for him to do whatever, I already did the intro. This this Brahma List segment is brought to you by Brahma Wings, where flavor gets its wings.
We're done with EV Mucks. So let's
I've
talk
been
about
saying
it.
that.
The DNC. So did you watch any of it?
I watched other people that watched it.
Yeah. So night one, we've got a whole bunch of speakers that nobody cares about.
Of course.
They push Biden, who, you know, is just a sitting president, to way past 11 o'clock, which is way past his bedtime. And it went about how you would think. So did you catch any of the clips from that?
Yeah. He was Trump.
Yeah.
Same side. Good people.
Yeah, he
Wait,
repeated that lie.
Yeah.
He repeated the losers and suckers lie.
Mm-hmm.
He then went on to say that both the protesters outside and the
Yes.
Israeli side is very fine people.
Yeah, there's good people on both, fine people on both sides.
Yeah, very fine people. You know, same thing he just accused Trump of saying that was never actually a thing. So that went well for them.
Do you think it was just he's at that point to where if something's on his mind, it's on his mind, right? So then it just applies to everything. Because he was already amped up on the whole fine people on the same side, so he automatically gets applied that to the protest and all of that.
Well, that along with the sundowning and whatever cocktail they had him on to get him on stage to begin with.
Yo, man, I don't know how much. Listen, I know how much it takes me to get on a stream.
Yeah.
And I'm barely out of my 30s. So
barely.
Barely. Like,
by the way,
a couple of
last
days.
week was Mad's birthday week.
This week. I mean, I count Sunday to Sunday.
Starts a new week.
This is Saturday. Wait, is this Sunday?
Yeah.
It's already happening.
Mad sundowning in front of us.
Actually, they say that the two biggest the ages where people age the most is at 44 and 60.
Well, I've got a year left then.
No, you don't.
For 44.
Get how much older you are.
I'll be 43 in September.
Wait, you're not already 43?
No.
Hey, you know what you should do? You should dye your goatee orange. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go all in, bro.
I don't think the wife... Well, the kids already hate the hat. The wife hates the hat.
What?
I'm pretty sure
really?
That's not going to go well.
They don't like this hat? Doc.
Yeah, I don't know why.
No clue.
It's a fantastic hat.
I mean, it's not as if when I look at it, I want to burn it. I would be around fire. You know, I'm not a fan. I will be around fire if I can burn it.
Well, next year at Dallas. Jerk. So, yeah. So Biden basically just lied his ass off all night. Hey, there's Slender.
Getting kicked all over the place by Radon and totally lost track of time.
Did you have mud on your face?
You were just playing Elden Ring.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you have any thoughts on night one of the DNC with Mr. Biden?
I mean, we kind of all expected that to go the way it went. That was the night that angered me the least.
I found it to be the funniest night. because they literally would not put him on stage in a primetime slot.
Well, no, of course not. He's only the sitting president that they...
Yeah.
They expected him to light everybody up. Like, I think there was a thought that he might just be like, F
I
it.
do think that was a concern. Hunter Biden will come up there. They did it to him. You know what I mean? Like, he's all coked out in the back and he runs on stage, grabs it like he's Kanye. Yo, I'll let you get back to it in a minute, but I just got to tell you.
I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to let you finish.
Kamala, you made a great album, but I tell you what, I made a better album, and I'm the only one who beat Trump with it.
I'll say this. That may have won my vote, but only for Joe Biden, so it wouldn't count.
True.
I'm still trying to figure out how they're going to get her on the ballots everywhere. But it doesn't seem to be a question anymore. It's just, no, we'll figure out a way. It's
I think they would just go with a vote for Joe is a vote for, Kamala, because he's the vice president. So if you vote for Joe, you're really just voting for her again.
I mean, that's essentially what they did with the delegate votes.
Yeah. I mean, the convention was useless because the convention is typically where you nominate your candidate.
Mm-hmm.
And they had already done that 10 days before on a phone call, a Zoom call. They had all of the delegates go ahead and throw their votes behind Kamala so that they didn't have to have a talk during the DNC.
Right. Well, it's like when people get engaged. They get engaged on their own, not in front of everybody, but then you announce it. You have an engagement party.
Well, yes, but this is U.S. politics. Typically, your engagement includes a whole bunch of voters deciding who's going to be that person. Not by yourself.
True.
It's a little bit unusual. So, Slender, I know that you said you were very fired up about the DNC convention. What set you off?
Calm down.
Probably Walls. The more that man talks, like, I don't even refer to him by name. I forgot his name there for a second because as far as I'm concerned, his name is Stolen Valor. And that's all I ever call him.
Well, and both of you guys served, so...
Yeah, what bothers me more is him. I was a coach. Well, you were a volunteer coach. You know what I mean? You weren't
trying to say that he took a team from, lost every game the year before to the state championship next year.
Wait, are they trying to tell...
defensive coordinator, right? Like, he wasn't even head coach.
I would have been fine if he was a defense coordinator. If he wasn't a volunteer, those coaches get paid just like the head coach. Unless it's some podunk town where they play 8-on-8.
Well,
like they're in Iowa or some shit.
He's from Minneapolis, right?
Well, I don't know where he was at a school.
I don't know where he coached at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I don't know. Minneapolis is a somewhat big city.
Well, yeah.
Well, he graduated with only 28 people, and no one he graduated went to Harvard. These right-wing uppity with their billionaires and going to Harvard and...
Yes, meanwhile, like 90% of the people who are in, taking the stage aside from him did go to those places. And
up next is a billionaire, followed by a Yale graduate, followed by a Harvard graduate, followed by Oprah, the richest woman in the world. Anyways.
Yeah, but hey, rich people and the elite, the educated elites they're the enemy. It's like, yes, which is why I'm not voting for your party.
Well, and J.D. Vance, who actually came from nothing, went to Yale, was in the military, did get deployed, then came back, made millions and millions of dollars. He's kind of done every phase of life from the pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
Dude, I would sell my house to get a ticket to watch J.D. Vance and Walls fight in the octagon.
I'll say this. If it wasn't for every other thing about Walsh, whatever his name is, whatever. If it wasn't everything else about him being a poor politician, one is mind-boggling to begin with, especially on the left. But I was like, oh, this guy may be legit. Maybe he is for the people. He's, you know what I mean? He's a poor guy, because he's a public servant. But then you hear every other thing out of his mouth, like, wait, how many trips to China? And you don't even own a house?
Yeah, honeymoon there? You and
Well,
Bernie
and then the
just
way
hanging
he
out?
handled the riots too, like, okay, so you went out there and licked the boot, and then even though you were on their side, you still got run off because you are a coward, and we all knew this. Like, the dude is, I don't know, like, he's got a beautiful family, nice looking kids, but he's a scumbag, and I get the feeling that may rub off. Like, his wife's probably not a very good person.
No.
Like, you could kind of tell just the way she acts.
Jill Biden part 2.
Yeah, and he just, I don't know. I think he's one of those people who he wasn't very popular when he was young.
He was not.
And now it's going to his head. Like, it's going to his head hard, and you know how those people are. They can't handle it at first.
He definitely knows his role to be the safe white guy. The all sucks. Oh, I just eat the mayonnaise and tuna on my tacos.
Yeah. So
but
you don't use
he's
spices?
got that smirk that makes you want to just slap him.
Yeah.
Every time he smiles, I have violent impulses.
Yeah. Oh, listen, and I hate that he has basically ruined my whole I don't eat spicy food bit. You know, where I only go to the Taco Cabana on the white side of town because they know their customers and their queso's not too hot for me. I feel like I can't even do all that. Yeah, Brendan, I'm a combat veteran as well. Slender's a vet.
I can't say that I'm a combat veteran. I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran of foreign wars. I have my expeditionary, but the closest we've seen to combat is we rolled up on some ships that had been boarded by pirates, and they started shooting AKs and RPGs at us. But I mean, let's be honest, dude, you're miles away. You're not hitting us with those.
What kind of ship did you serve on, Slender?
I served on a little bit of everything. I was on a carrier for 5 years, and then I said never again because big ships suck. And then I did a cruiser, and cruisers are awesome. And then I did a destroyer, and those kind of suck too.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they all suck. You're underway. You're out there floating around in the ocean doing F all for.
Oh, look at me out here safe on this beautiful ocean, going from country to country. Oh, I'm so horrible.
Oh, yeah, I have to drive a ship instead of a Bradley. So, yeah, expound a little bit on the Stolen Valor stuff.
So, well,
I mean, just the more you
which
see
parts
it, right?
do you think are the most egregious?
I think it's the
is it the rank, or is
no,
it
it's
the weapons of war in war, or
for me is how not indecisive, but how like non-committal he is to the whole thing. It makes it worse for me because you know what I mean. A lot of his stuff is somebody will say something about his military career or whatever, and he won't correct them.
Yeah,
right.
He
told him to say it before the cameras were rolling too. So
I mean,
it's in his biography.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
He didn't.
No, I don't like
even
that
if
he
it was
claims
Ghost
that
Rider.
he was what was it, Command Sergeant?
Sergeant Major? Yeah.
Like that command title, you earn that through a shitload of school, and then you have to actually be a Command Sergeant Major. And if he didn't pass the school, and like acting Command Sergeant Major doesn't mean you're a Command Sergeant Major. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, he's worse than a fob. He's so much worse because he was never at a fob. He was in Italy that was the closest that he's been. You know what I mean?
That's not a combat. Like I would say I was closer to combat in the Persian Gulf because although they decided it's no longer a hazardous duty, imminent danger situation, anywhere in the Gulf, you are in range of Iran's Charlie 802 missiles. So, I mean,
well, I've talked about this, a lot before about how I've come across guys that served but weren't ever in combat, whether it be they were in a support role or whatever. And when they're being honest about it, they really regret not having that experience of being in combat. It's actually kind of a weight on them in a lot of ways. I mean, I tell them you have no idea how lucky you are, but you don't know because you didn't do, so you don't know that you shouldn't have wanted to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's just I don't know, and I feel like you were right about him being picked on in high school or whatever, and he's trying to find. I've read this book. I think Brahma and I talked about it from this Christian guy. It's called Wild at Heart, and he was talking about how all men have like this drive for adventure, danger, and to have those experiences, whether it's in combat or whatever. And when you don't have that natural experience of it, you try to compensate, whether it's being the guy at the bar that's always trying to pick fights, or like, you know what I mean? The guy that all of a sudden when a girl walks into the room, they change their entire personality to be this douchebag. Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Where did you come from? You know what I mean? And a lot of that has to do with them, it's almost innate in who we are to be tested, whether or not we would have what it takes to, you know what I mean?
Older.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did that. I tried to go Spec War one time. I was trying to go either Rivron 2 or Special Boat Team 20, and almost got my orders pulled to go for them, but they had already cut the funding. And you know how once the money is in place, they're like, no, we will never move the money. so it ended up falling through. But in retrospect, I got a wife, I got beautiful kids. I'm kind of glad
exactly.
it didn't happen, because I probably would have got my ass shot off.
I had a buddy get shot in the ass. We were no bullshit.
I mean, it's the $60,000 wound, right?
So Woody, I won't say his real name. We could call him Woody because his last name was similar to Woody. Anyway, we were out one day. He was gunning in a Humvee, and we were getting small on fire from a rooftop or whatever. Right? He was the rear vehicle, so he's actually facing the 6. And okay, here's how it goes. All right, I'm gonna tell you what happened. We clear it. Then we get it. They hear on the radio, "Hey, we got somebody down." Ba 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 ba. We go over. We're trying to find where he shot. It was in his ass. We put a tampon in, like what like we're supposed to do or whatever. and we took him, right. And so what was written down in the report was that apparently a sniper or somebody up there took one last shot over the ledge and hit him right in the butt. Shot down into the turret of the Humvee, right? They sent him to Germany for like 3 weeks. They couldn't get the bullet out, so they just patched it up for a while. And he was back in having to be a gunner within a month of being shot in the ass. I don't know if you know how you sit in that gun. There's just a strap that your ass is on. He did not use it. But after we all got back, the real story was told. What had happened was, after it was done, the driver gets in, and when he puts his M4 down, something happened and went off and hit fucking Woody right in the ass.
Like a ricochet inside?
No, directly. Just shot him right in the ass.
I
And
guess that explained why it was so deep. They were having trouble
They
getting it out.
eventually, well, they got it out after we got back or whatever. They're like, "That's weird. That's a 5.56." Well, I don't know. I guess that's what he was using then.
Do you still get the Purple Heart for that?
Yeah, of course he did. And who was it? Ski? I think Ski was the TC, the sergeant, right? Quick thinking, because that would have fucked everyone. It would have fucked the driver. It would have fucked Woody. It would have fucked everyone in that truck. Because you got to think about it, right? So the driver, what are they? It's not accidental discharge anymore. What do they call it? Negligent discharge, right? So he's fucking done. The sergeant's fucking done. Woody would not. It could actually jeopardize some of the benefits that he would have received if it was enemy fire rather than his dumb driver.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, they saved everybody.
Ugly as hell, because the second that a negligent discharge like that happens, anyone who was involved, pretty much immediately all certifications are stripped. You have to go back to do the schools, and you're not going back to do the schools anytime soon. You're basically like benched for the next year at least.
I don't think we could have. We were already shorthanded.
Why would it be everybody around him?
Well, because the sergeant's in charge, right? So if that guy doesn't know how to properly store his weapon before driving the vehicle, that's on him for not training him well.
Yeah. Training gouge.
Yeah, it's the driver for not knowing how to put his gun down safely.
Yep.
We had a similar thing happen on our vehicle when we first. Oh man, it was a few months after we got there, but Sergeant Russ and Moncada, they were in the Bradley and the gun, right? I was in the back, I was dismount. And when we were going hot before we left the fob or whatever, right? And the 240 Charlie, it's like a 7.62 gun, like machine gun. Anyway, it went off, right? So we get back. So Russ and Chris, they tell the guys, hey, no, there's something wrong with the gun. All right, it did it itself. So they asked me and Brandon to go get the gun. I'm not an armorer. I don't know how those things work, but it did turn out that a piece was broken inside of it. Now, did that happen as we were slamming it from one side of the Bradley to the other until we took it out of the Bradley? I don't know. I'm not an armorer. What I know is it saved his career. He was moved to another vehicle. We got a new TC. You know what I mean? Some things got twisted around, but nobody got nailed to the cross on that one.
Yeah.
Again, not an armorer. Don't know how it happened.
So you took the broken gun and put it in another person's vehicle?
No, we broke the gun before we took it out of our vehicle to go turn it in. We're slamming the shit out of that
the gun
thing.
went and they sent it off for repair, refurbishment.
No, their armorer did it there just to see if there was something inside of that could have made it happen without negligence on their part.
Now, bringing this all back to Walls, the other thing I didn't like was him and everybody else going after JD Vance. Like, the military guys, even the military guys, it's disgusting to try and call out Vance's service, because you know what his service entailed. We have the records and everything else, and
he's never said anything different.
And then the other part that kind of pisses me off is there were several people who went after JD Vance that aren't military, and that's an unspoken rule. If you're not military, you keep your effing mouth shut. And if you don't, then Walls and Booty Juice and everybody else should have been calling out the people who were talking crap on JD Vance, because whether we like it or not, those guys are our brothers. It's just some of them we're not very proud of.
Which is kind of why, like, after the Stolen Valor thing kind of came out, we had you on, Slender, because it's much better to have you talk about it than me, because I didn't serve it anyway. Yeah, you were AWOL at that point, so.
You were AWOL.
Yeah.
Your face is a wall.
For those of us not in the military, can you guys explain what a FOBIT is?
Oh, FOBIT. You still thinking about that? Your orders?
Yeah.
A fob is
that came in. I don't know what it means.
I never heard the term, but I immediately knew because I know what a fob is.
Yeah, a fob is a forward operating base, right? I was at I was outside Victory Liberty. I was outside the green zone. What the fuck? I can't believe I just blanked on it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. FOB is a forward operating base. A FOBIT is someone who never leaves the base, never been outside the wire.
So him staying in Italy.
No. That's not even a FOBIT. That's why he's worse.
Zone.
Yeah.
Like you could theoretically, the scene in Band of Brothers where the new guy gets to the little area that they'd taken over and the mortar shells come in and like he takes cover, but everybody else is just kind of standing and looking at him like, what the hell are you doing? That's basically a FOB. Like,
great example.
We had to go. A chance that you could take some fire, but in all honesty, it's pretty much safe there.
Yeah. Well, not where I was. We got hit by a mortar, hit our ammo point. Everybody got locked down. We were out on an SKT. We're in some Haji house watching doing an OPLP on a HVT. We got locked down. We got locked out of the base. They locked down everybody. But a great example
Nobody
of FOB.
Comes or goes.
Nope. We had to go get there. We had some shit on our vehicle that's supposed to stop radio transmissions or whatever. Which, by the way, we found out wasn't even turned on. Those fuckers. It wasn't plugged in. Anyway,
like the cell phone jammers, so that you
kind of, yeah.
Detonate.
Yeah, our shit wasn't even plugged in. We were just been lucky. But when we went to go do it, right, Liberty Victories, these huge bases, right, and we could not find our way off of it. So I'm driving the Humvee. And Sergeant Will's like, hey, ask that Sergeant Major right there how we get out of here. So I pull my window. I'm like, hey, Sergeant Major, hey, man, we're trying to find the exit here. He goes, well, I think I walked by it one day. Sergeant Will said, put your window up. In the middle of a sentence, I was like, I'm sorry, Sergeant Major. He told me I got to do it. And I put it up and we just rolled because he had no idea. Never even seen the exit. That's a FOBIT.
Like us trying to get home from the meetup.
Yes, yeah.
You could not find your way.
Oh, I'm sorry?
I mean, you on the base could not find your way out.
Okay, well, that was different.
Yeah.
Because it was really big.
So was Fort Worth and Dallas.
Yeah, but we didn't have a GPS. We didn't have Google Maps. We had what was that through Blue Force Tracker? You may not know this.
I do not.
FBCB2? I think that's what yeah. It's like a screen. It's like kind of a GPS thing in the Humvee.
Dude, we use charts and Furuno radar. So,
have you seen Generation Kill?
No.
Dude, you need to see Generation Kill for sure. It's on HBO. Chad, make a note of that. Brahma, you need to see Generation Kill too. That is one of the most accurate depicted war, and especially for modern. You know what I mean? Because it takes place during the initial invasion into Iraq. Yeah, it's great. Okay. Really, really good.
I need to see Generation Kill. Okay, I've made a note of it, even though I'm not Chad.
But yeah, no, that one's really good. And The Outpost. Still need to see The Outpost if you haven't seen it. It's on Netflix.
I haven't seen either. I'll have to check them out. I actually haven't watched Band of Brothers.
Like I started rewatching The Pacific.
The Pacific isn't as good.
No, but I like it though for the most part. I could have done without the Australia, but they cut out the whole Brisbane War that happened. A lot of shit happened when the U.S. guys were there. A lot of American babies being born.
So
anyway, do you have any other questions about the?
No, that explains what a fobbit is. So, as far as the rest of the DNC, so I mean, yeah, Slender, you were pissed off about Walz. We were talking about Biden's lying, basically just rehashing everything that the media has said over the years. That
like the very fine people
debunked.
Comment again, like
yes. It's even been debunked in the past month when Biden has said it.
That's one of the things that infuriated me too. Like the entire convention felt scripted. And it probably was. Like they were all clearly reading off scripts.
Of course.
Because they're not very good at actually sounding like they're giving a natural delivery to anything ever.
Well, and it wasn't just the politicians that were scripted. It was the media. Because if you remember,
it was the politicians, it was the media, it was the guests when they do we're gonna have the lights out and you can kind of see the shadows of the people in the back. Then the spotlight hits them and they talk about what happened with them and guns. And it's like, really?
What happened with them and guns?
I don't know. They told stories about the horrible tragedies that they were involved in, and I'm like, okay.
Did they bring up Trump and his horrible experience with a gun?
And it's kind of messed up that you're reading a script on this right now.
Well, I don't have a problem with that. If I'm going to have to speak in front of millions of people, I may put a few notes down on my phone I can reference.
Dude,
you know
having notes is different than reading a script. They were all reading scripts.
Okay, yeah, all right. Oh, you know what lady I liked from the RNC was the New York mom, the most New York mom you've ever heard. Y'all remember her talking about her son that was killed by some illegal?
Yeah.
No, I think I missed that one.
Oh, man, she was the most New York mom possible. She was great. I don't know. The whole thing felt, the best part of it was Don Lemon promoting project2025.com.
Oh my God, Project 2025, their giant book that they printed out, and
that chick was insufferable.
Dude, here's the thing, right? Every claim they've made, I start doing word searches because I have the document. Like I downloaded it to try and become an expert on it. But every time they start making a claim, I start doing word searches, and I can never find any evidence to substantiate the things they say it says. Like,
of course not.
Well, I mean, it was done by the Heritage Foundation. Trump has basically said, yeah, I don't like, chunks of what's in it. And they keep trying to stick it to him that this is what he's going to do.
Yeah, Trump's never read that thing. It's 900 pages.
Yeah, and if if the Republicans did this to a Democrat and tried to attribute something to a Democrat that wasn't theirs, everybody would be up in arms screaming and yelling, no, they're not actually communist. But
Even
they
though
don't have a problem. Nobody has a problem with them attributing this to Trump, saying this is what he's going to do, when, yeah, he's disavowed it multiple times, and they just keep going. I mean, sure, it's politics, but it's completely dishonest, not genuine. I mean, they're pushing a narrative that is easily disproven once again.
Right.
All in the name of trying to get the low information voters to just accept it.
They justify it by painting Trump a villain. So through their lies, they paint him as this horrible villain, but they're using those lies because they think it's justified by keeping him out, because it'll be the end of the democracy if he's in.
But then they also tell the lies of what's in it.
Too.
Right.
Like they're like, oh, Project 2025 will do this, and I almost did spit takes multiple times while watching this convention because I just wanted to immediately scream, "You're doing that right now!"
Yeah, well, so it's one of those things where some people, the far left, right, they can't imagine anyone not being a piece of shit. So their default thinking is that everyone is a piece of shit.
Yeah,
right.
She must be cheating on me because I do it.
Right. Oh yeah.
Like it's terrible. And another example. Well, the Republicans want to ban books. First off, no, we don't. We just don't want them in schools because
no books in schools.
Those kind of books aren't not specifically. You know the kind of books we're talking about here. And second off, California tried to ban the Bible because it was too much like conversion therapy, which they've made illegal.
Well, Canada's made it illegal, but only one way.
Yeah. You can convert to, not from.
Yep.
And I don't know if you guys remember, but the left is who has actually gone about banning actual books, like The Adventures of Huck Finn, Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn. I mean,
which is
that's been banned for years.
I don't like how they paint the black guy in a positive manner. So yeah, I'm with them for ban, and for that time period.
Stop. Sound like a Tomorrow's Teachings character.
Kinda, yeah. They're a bad influence.
I mean, so it's more projection. But
absolutely.
On the scripted thing, did you guys catch with the news? The mainstream media, day one, everything's joyful. It's got to be joyful. Everything's joyful.
Mm-hmm.
We're all excited.
Yeah, they have their keywords that they're supposed to be hitting.
Yeah.
Oh, and then let's be clear,
it's electric. Everything's electric. There's just an electricity running through the building. You know, it's like a light bulb just turned on.
Yep.
And
the Democrat Party it's distancing itself from the past because those things weren't working, and it's a really successful rebrand they've done here.
Well, and the thing is, the whole convention was about running against themselves. I mean, they didn't bring up any policy talking points. All they said is, yeah, it's been bad. We're going to make it better. Trump's bad. You definitely can't trust him. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to say it's bad. It's us doing it. We're the ones who have gotten us to this point.
Need price fixing.
Yeah.
On day one, I'm going to fix the economy. What are you doing now?
What do you mean you're going to fix the economy? Why do you need to fix the best economy we've ever had?
Why do you need to be hired for the job, for the next job up that you already have, to fix the things that you in your current administration has fucked? You know what I mean?
Well, dude, that was like Nancy Pelosi. Listen, you've got to vote for the budget before we're going to let you read it.
Well, and that's what they're doing with Kamala. You've got to vote Kamala in before you actually find out how communist she is.
How close are they to saying to vote her in before to find out all of her policies? How close are they to being?
Dude, if they were in charge, this whole thing would be let's make a deal, and it'd be like, or you can take what's behind door number 3. And it's no, I don't want what's behind door number 3. Don't you open that door.
By the way, just to clarify, I understand that even if they're currently serving in this administration, I know that it takes a lot. You have to go through the Senate, through the House, all that other bullshit to get something passed or whatever. But you can't use that as the excuse of why you haven't done it while you're in that house and say on day one, I will fix it.
Well, and then like
do you get what I'm saying?
Immigration numbers, and it's like, oh, she's tough on the border. No, she isn't. She wasn't, and she never will be. That's a lie.
And she was the one in charge of the border. I get what you're saying, Mad, except that half of our economic troubles were from Biden on day one going in and just using executive orders to repeal everything that Trump did.
So
on day one,
I was still manning
60 Trump executive orders.
So I was still manning their excuse of why they haven't been able to do all the things that they say they're going to do the next time, this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing too. Like we're almost a full 4 years into the Biden administration at this point. Why is everything still Trump's fault? Like that dude's been gone for 3.5 years.
Well, it's worse than that. The past 16 years, the Dems, outside of the 4 years with Trump, it's been 16 years of straight Democrat rule. And supposedly the 4 years with Trump in there is where all the problems in this country come from. At some point, people have to start looking at it. I mean, it's just like Chicago. It's just like Detroit. It's like all the major Democratic cities.
Right, but before Obama, we had Bush Jr., right?
Yeah.
Oh, George W.
W.
Yeah, W. So that was 8 years of Republican.
All right, listen. I know
Obama.
I know people have their feelings about him and Michelle Obama and all that, but I do think it's adorable every time they see each other in public. He has candy that he has in his pocket for her. It's just such an old man thing to do. Like whenever they're at an event, he gives her candy.
Who Bush and Michelle?
Yeah, it's adorable. He's just a cute old man. You know what I mean? I can't hate on him.
He's the Werther's original guy.
Yes.
Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Oh, where were we going with that before the candy?
Oh, sorry.
You were talking about 16 years of Democrats.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've had control of the government, and like I was saying, it's just like the Democratic cities. I mean, they sit there and tell their voters, everything's bad, don't worry, we'll make it better. Every time they're in office, they do nothing to make it better. In fact, they just keep getting further and further left. I mean, we thought
look at California. They basically recalled Gavin Newsom and had a special election, and then Larry Elder, a very diverse candidate, comes forward and says, I mean, I got some ideas on how we can fix things, and they're like, ooh, Republican?
White face of the black face of white supremacy.
Car salesman again.
A woman in a gorilla mask called him the blackface of white supremacy.
Yeah,
right.
That is insane.
He's the racist. She's so brave and so beautiful.
She's living her truth.
Yep.
I mean, Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, horrible mayor. What do? We go and elect somebody that is far left of Lori Lightfoot. Biden, well, yeah, we as in people in the country, voters, citizens.
Dude,
even
who's
though
the
it was
governor
Chicago.
of Michigan?
But Whitmer.
Oh my God, she was the fakest of them all. Like
almost like that kidnapping.
Yeah. Did anyone hear her speech though? Like, oh my God, she paused for like the laughs and the applause when she made jokes. They never came.
Nobody did anything.
No.
And she didn't have the comedic chops to lean into it like I would have.
No,
I would have leaned right in.
Got this. She smiles too much, and that's the other thing. Like everybody at the DNC had so much work done that like half of them are in the uncanny valley at this point. Like a great example, Nancy Pelosi, right? She's had so many facelifts. Her eyebrows are on the sides of her eyes now too, not just the top. She gets one or two more, they're gonna start wrapping around the bottom, I think.
It's weird because I get that the supply was probably low during the whole pandemic or whatever, but the supply got to be back for adrenochrome, right? I don't get why they're all like melting.
Yeah, and like
Their dealer hasn't got a re-up.
People go up there and they start talking, and there's a part of my lizard brain that just starts screaming from the back of my head, "You are in danger. That is not a human being. Run!"
Well, yeah, the chick who actually brought up the Project 2025 book, did you see what she kept doing with her tongue during her speech?
Yeah, that weird
No, I didn't see it.
Between
flicking
like,
it out
and clicking
in
it on
between
the
about
outside. Like she's
Wait.
a snake. Like that's how
that's
she
weird.
feels the world.
It was strange.
I thought you were talking like she had meth mouth. You know, like meth people, their jaw will go like they'll move their jaw a lot. Left
No,
and
she
right
kept
and shit.
sticking her tongue full out of her mouth while talking.
Yeah, like she was trying to wet her lips or something.
Which that may have been what it was, but it was.
Yeah, but if
It's
you're
a
on
weird
may have
thing
been
to do in
cocaine.
the middle of a speech.
If you're on camera, you fold your lips in, hold them in place with your teeth, and lick them without sticking your tongue out.
You would
Or
think.
you just LL Cool J that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that probably went over y'all's head.
A little bit.
LL Cool J in all his videos, he'd always lick his lips like during his you're doing it well. No, nobody. Somebody will get me in the chat.
Or you do like the 50 Cent or maybe it's 50 Cent. It might be.
It was
might be
LL Cool J.
rapper. But like after you lick your lips, you go ha.
What? What, like DMX?
Ah.
But I was gonna say this earlier. So just circling back to the whole wife thing, because we were talking about Tim Walsh's wife or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
You know who
Walsh,
is?
yep.
You know who's turning out to be a great wife, repping that 903. Brittany Mahomes.
Yeah. I mean, she's
Eric
best
Myers
friends with
picked up
Taylor
on your
Swift,
joke, man.
and the Swifties for Trump are going.
Oh,
nuts
they
now
are.
because of
Yes.
Mahomes.
Yep. Patrick Mahomes. He went to White House and Tyler repping that 903.
I know where Tyler is.
Yeah, 903.
I know the Toadies song, Tyler.
Yeah, the Down by the
Toadies
Water.
song. That's one of my favorites.
Is there a bad Toady song?
No,
There you go.
no.
There are a couple that
Slender.
just don't jive with me.
Dude,
like
I come from the
others.
water. Come on.
I do love I Come
I
from the
Burn,
Water.
Possum Kingdom.
I
Tyler.
Burn is my favorite.
That's actually the second part of the Possum Kingdom song. They were written as a duo. It's the same dream.
I Burn is probably why I set so many things on fire when I was in middle school. High school. I don't remember. We burned a lot of stuff.
It'd be funny if Walls started using that as a campaign song. I mean, since most of his state burned under him in 2020.
You know, 50. I think 50 is like a fan, right? 50 would have let him use Many Men. I don't know why they didn't even have a conversation about it.
That's the other thing going on. So the Foo Fighters are pissed off with Trump because he used My Hero, and they're actually trying to sue him now and then give the royalties to the Kamala Harris campaign.
You good? Well, I would say good luck with that because Trump bought the rights, but then again, who knows? A huge chunk of our court system is completely broken at this point. Like, it's unfortunate, but the judicial system can no longer be relied on. I hate saying that word.
Judicial?
No,
I don't think
Wait,
the actual
if he has the
lawsuit would
rights
go
to the
anywhere.
song-
He's got the rights.
Yeah, what is he going to do?
They're just trying to virtue signal that, no, we're not with Trump.
dude, they convicted him of 40-something counts of something that
Was in
was
New York.
beyond its statute of yeah. Well, where are they suing him? Can't they sue him in the state of New York?
I'm not sure where
That's kind of
that
the point,
would
right?
fall.
You can kind of make
But
that
it's a little
happen when
harder
you
to get
want.
away with when you literally bought the rights.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
it's
Here,
virtue
I'm
signaling.
hoping.
True, just like what's his name, Neil. I'm leaving Spotify because Joe Rogan bad.
Neil
Okay,
Young.
I'm back, guys.
I mean, I don't care. The Foo Fighters suck anyway. It's a good song, but the Foo Fighters aren't a good band.
They got a few
Screw
good
those
songs.
guys.
I hope they go back and do a non Foo Fighter edition of Varsity Blues. We can find another song to replace it.
Oh, yeah, you can easily find a different soundtrack that'll work.
Well, just go with We Can Be Heroes by David Bowie instead. He's not alive. He's not going to sue you.
I don't. That's not how that works.
Oh, okay.
Somebody got the rights to that shit.
The Bowie Foundation.
Well, that's the whole point, though. Somebody's got the rights to that music, and Trump bought the rights to that song. So
yeah,
there is no lawsuit.
If they gave up their rights, then they got no right.
But I mean, the song was played during an event that basically took all the air out of the DNC. So, I mean, day one, you had Biden. Day two, you had, Clinton's and Obama's. Day three, you had Walz. And then day four, you had Kamala. Day five, you've got RFK and Trump on stage, with RFK dropping out of the race and endorsing Trump. And that's where the song was used. And from everything I've seen, it kind of just erased everything from the DNC. Kind of like the RNC
that
getting
kind
erased
of a silver
by...
bullet.
Yeah, it's kind of like the RNC getting erased by, hey, Biden's no longer the nominee. It's now Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
So, masterful work by Trump and RFK to control the narrative a little bit at the end of the DNC, because normally you're going to get a bump coming out of there, and I don't know that we're going to see it.
Well, and did you hear RFK's speech that he made on Friday afternoon?
I tore apart the media and the Democratic Party.
He excoriated them. Like, how do they feel right now, Mad? You've been burned.
Yes. What? Dude, I can't listen to him. He seems like an okay guy. Other than that one time that he, found that dead bear and put it on a bike, made people think that if somebody got hit. Anyway, other than that whole thing,
put it in his car, I thought.
No, yes, and then he put it up on a bike that he also had, because apparently there was a lot of people being hit on bikes by cars, to make it look like somebody got hit, and it worked, and there was like ambulances coming out there and shit.
Okay, yeah, he's
yeah.
Kind of a weirdo.
Yeah, a little bit, but anyway, I just can't listen to that voice of his.
I get that it's not
tough.
his fault. It's like a disorder of some kind. But I think I said very early on, Brahm, I think we had this conversation just after a show once upon a time. But I was like, unfortunately, that dude will never be president because his voice sounds weak.
Yep.
Yeah, the gravelly thing.
Not that he's a weak person, but like his vocal is weak.
For that, because it
it's hard to listen to.
Subconscious response. Like you naturally think this guy's not. He's not strong enough to be the president.
He's not well.
Yeah.
Which is funny because they're all willing to vote for Kamala.
And Joe Biden, a lot of them were willing to vote for Joe Biden.
Well, he's had a stutter for at least 10 years now.
Oh yeah, speech impediments you can't make fun of, but vocal cord disorders, they're fair game.
Yeah, Eric, I don't know that the RFK thing is going to make that big of an impact.
I don't think
he
so
was
either.
Polling 5%, if 3% of those go over to Trump in swing states where
right, but I feel
maybe 10,000 votes.
I feel
his old polling showed that if he were to stay in the race, it would do more damage to Trump than Kamala, which is why he pulled out of the swing states.
I don't know. I feel like he's an alternative to the Biden-Harris ticket, or now rather than alternative to Trump. You know what I mean? I think. And now that Joe's not there, he was an alternative to Joe, I think.
He was the alternative to Joe, yeah. Because people who didn't want to vote for somebody who had obviously no brain working, it was, well, I don't want to vote for Trump, so, I mean, RFK's there. Sure, we'll vote for him. But when they switched it to Kamala, I think the majority that was still left in the RFK, because he was polling in the double digits for a while, I think the majority of the ones that were left were ones that were being taken away from Trump.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're going to go to Trump just because RFK got out and endorsed Trump, though. But if they want him in a cabinet position or some position of power, that's the only road to it at this point.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be like, because there are the people who just will not vote for Trump. And I'm sure a lot of those people were the people who are voting for RFK. But I think after him pulling out of the race and his hardcore followers probably listening to that speech on Friday, I think it's going to be at least a 60-40 split. I think 60% of them are going to go to Trump.
Yeah, you're going to have it's the never Trumpers. That's where they were going to throw their vote. I mean,
what's that group?
Yeah, then that other 40
the
is going to be
Republican
divided
group?
between voting for Kamala or not voting at all. It's going to be one or the other.
what's that cringe Republican group that Project, what is it?
The Lincoln Project.
Yeah, the Lincoln Project. Yeah. All 5 of them, they'll be voting for Harris.
Yeah, they'll
now.
vote for Kamala. Yeah.
One of the major speakers on the last night was Adam Kinzinger.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's
scumbag.
Insane.
He's not either. Here's the thing. Once again, you could tell he was reading off a script, like word for word off that freaking teleprompter.
That's fine.
Second, we know he got paid. And third, you could tell that he knew he was lying because he said stuff that he himself has debunked in the past. Like he knew these were lies, but he said them anyway because they were on the script.
Well, he's the definition of TDS. Him and Cheney both just lost their freaking minds under Trump.
Wait, not the good Cheney. You're talking about the daughter, right?
Liz.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Because Dick Cheney's one of my top favorite politicians of all time.
Because he actually shot somebody while in office.
See, so that's a good one. That's what everybody goes for. But there's a better one. He was being interviewed, right? And the reporter's like, there's so much negative, like so many people in America are against this war in Iraq. Like, what do you say about them? And he goes, so?
Right.
It's just like, what do you mean so? He's like, all right, I guess I'll expand upon this. We can't base it on the popular opinion, public opinion, blah, 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 right? But he literally thought everything would be cool with just responding with, so?
Right.
Well, and
Beautiful.
The other thing about it is, and this is something I think many politicians seem to have forgotten, even though they say it so often. I think it's one of those things, they say it without even thinking, but you are supposed to represent the will of the people. So if more of the people do not want to go to war,
okay, well, so
there's a real good justification here,
right? So yeah, there's a thing about you can't kneel to the mob, right? That's why we have the electoral system in the first place, right? But yeah, there's a lot of information, a lot of moving parts that not everyone is aware of. Just like right now, how many people if you go up to and they'll, he said find people on both sides. That's not what happened, but they don't know. It's low information. So if there's a large group of people that are low information, like, yeah, I'm not a fan of war, boo war, and they have no idea about the reality on the ground, you cannot get bend to them, bend a knee to them.
Well, it's the reason we have elected representatives,
right?
Because
and this
your
is
representatives make
the
those
European
decisions.
Union and the United States of America right now. Like, we were designed to be, all the states separately, but with one federal government that kind of handles the stuff that you don't handle at the state level. The problem is the problem is the federal government is now handling all sorts of things that should be handled by the state.
Yeah.
And then you've got weird things like New York billionaires funneling millions upon millions of dollars into Virginia election cycles, which makes no sense because states are supposed to govern themselves, and if you don't like the way your state is governed, you're supposed to move to a different state. Like, right. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but if like the majority of people in your state live a different way that you don't like, and you don't like living that way, you can go to another state.
Well, and that's the exact argument that is being made on abortion. With Roe versus Wade being overturned, it goes back to the states.
Yeah,
the Democrats don't seem to understand how this works. If you're in a red state, chances are it's going to be more restrictive because the state gets to decide and the people living there get to decide. If you're in a blue state, chances are it's going to be more open. I mean, I'm in Colorado where polis is basically for up to the moment of birth.
Dude, you could probably have some of your kids aborted still.
Probably. I mean,
don't tempt him like that.
Yet,
don't make him start Googling.
Your daughter is in what we'd call the 948th trimester. You've still got 2 more if you want to get an abortion.
Yeah, it's not too late. Yeah, I mean, that's how the country's supposed to work. But these people don't know civics. They're low information. They honestly, the whole rallying cry of our democracy is meant specifically to get people to lean that way, to not understand it. Because
well, and also
democracy in itself is, if you've got one more percentage point than the other side, you get what you want.
Yep. And that's, I mean, there are founding fathers wrote entire freaking articles about why democracy sucks. So, but like, and this is something even RFK said in his speech on Friday about how we're more alike than we are different. No, I don't think we're more alike than we are different, and I don't think we've ever been more alike than we are different. We are very different people. The North is different than the South. The New England states are different than the Florida and that area. Texans are different than everybody because that's not how we
damn
do
straight
things in Texas. So go back to fucking Texas because we don't want you. Californians, same kind of thing. I wish I was back in Cali. I wish you were back in Cali too. Like, we're all
can you take this
different.
Sheriff Salazar with you?
But we're all very different, and that's okay. That's the part everybody forgets. It's okay for us to be different. Like,
was Salazar the one that
that's in Bexar County,
that also 2 years ago was on MSNBC saying, I wish the government would do something. Why haven't we had anybody from the government come down and help us on the border?
Well, yep, not even a border sheriff, by the way. Bexar County,
right?
Don't have a border.
Was he the one who spoke at the convention too?
Harris just like us. She won't get it done on the border. Trump, he just stands there. Did you what the
Trump is in it for
that
himself.
Was part of that. That was part of that moment where I'm like, I kind of want to throw up right now.
But he was wearing a cowboy hat, so I mean,
he was.
That's all the credentials you need. Is
his Texas credit is as valid as Walsh's military combat experience. Do you get what I'm saying? He's Texan only in name, as far as I'm concerned.
You want to take him and put him in Austin, and then cut Austin out and airlift it over to California.
No, I don't think Bexar County doesn't cover Austin.
No, but you want to put him in Austin before you remove it, because I'm pretty sure a lot.
By the way, I'm in Bexar County.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to fuck around Bexar County Sheriff Department all the time back in the day. Yeah, all right.
I don't know. I would like for us to simulate Escape from LA and just maybe get California off into the ocean a little ways and just turn it into a penal colony at this point. Like, oh, you like illegal immigrants? Cool, they're all going there.
Yeah, here's some kangaroos just to make sure that it's a penal colony.
We bought them special from Australia.
And then hope for the big one where California just gets
watch out for this emu. The emu will sit on your wheat.
I want it separated. If we could somehow accelerate that process and get it separated.
Yeah,
in the moat.
Well,
yeah, that would be bad, I guess.
Even though Chad's not here, let's do the usual and have a quick look at what
Real
Clear Politics is showing. Let me blow that up a little bit too.
Yeah, I really do not believe these numbers.
Well, the weird thing is, if you look at it, most of these polls don't have. I mean, Rasmussen is the only one who's done anything within the last 5 days, and Rasmussen actually reports nightly. They're one of the only polling companies that does a nightly poll. And so out of 1,893 likely voters, they've got Trump up. And then you go all the way back to the 18th, the 16th, the 13th, and the 14th. So, I mean,
that's not even the same election
behind.
Cycle anymore.
Yeah, they're 10 days behind and still showing Harris. So out of those polls, we're not going to see anything from the DNC, whether there's a bump or not. I would watch Rasmussen over the next few days. Their big compiled polling is on Thursday is when it releases. But if you go to Rasmussen's YouTube page or YouTube channel, they explain exactly what they're doing and how they're trying to, not oversample one way or the other. And they've been pretty accurate over the last few years. And the guy explains it, very thoroughly. He goes through every tab of their poll. They've still got like the black vote at like 30% for Trump. out of likely voters. The only place she's winning is white, overeducated women on the left.
Every other, like in the Garden of Eden,
group is just bleeding.
Women are
away
fucking us
from the
over.
Dems.
Well, and it's funny too because they're like, one of the things they're like, oh, Trump he doesn't deserve to be president because he's a bad person. He cheated on his wife, and it's like, do we need to talk about how Kamala Harris got into politics in the first place? Because she was a mistress. Do you know what a mistress is?
Speaking of cheating, did we ever find out what happened to that babysitter's kid that the Mr. Second husband?
That Emhoff?
Yeah, the second
No,
gentleman. Whatever happened to that baby?
We don't know if he's got a bastard out there or if it was taken care of.
All we know is that she was pregnant. That marriage ended. That was it.
Yeah. Nanny got pregnant, which, I mean, yeah, cheating's bad, but cheating with a nanny seems far worse than
not even an au pair. Can you believe
cheating
that?
With the porn star.
Ugh, not even an au pair. No class.
So
Bill Clinton, another great example. It's like, it seems to me you only care about this when it's very well, like everything else with the Democrats, it's one way. Bad when you do it, okay when we do it. It's empowering. We were living our truth.
Yep. We'll share the one other one, and then we got to get out of here because we're having a barbecue at the house today.
I hate it when he says we. I get excited, and then I realize, he's talking about his other family.
You can show up. Just get on the plane. It's only an hour and a half flight.
I ain't getting on no plane.
Okay.
I don't see Virginia. I'm not sure Virginia goes blue. I'm not.
Well, and this has changed even this morning because this morning it was at earlier it was at 50% Trump and 49% Harris. So that may be the poly-market bump from the DNC.
I think that honeymoon, that bubble that she had, or whatever, that boost from it's not Joe Biden. Thank God, we're excited now.
The sugar high that they've all
that's starting to wear out. Yeah.
Do we need to remind you that Kamala Harris was less popular than Joe Biden just 4 years ago?
Right, but 5 weeks ago.
Just the idea that Joe is no longer in that position. It's like, you snort cocaine off the toilet seat and you're like, yeah, let's do this. And then 30 minutes later, you're like, oh, what the fuck? What happened?
Dude,
you know what I mean?
You're always totally excited and pumped during the.
You guys, we're gonna do it. We're gonna change the country. We're gonna bring joy to everybody. Okay, let me make it clear. This is gonna be awesome.
As soon as it's over though, and you're on that ride back, you're falling asleep. You're just, oh boy, I'm out. Oh wow, I used up everything.
We just have to hope that everybody comes down from their sugar high before November, and it's not a case of post-nut clarity kicking in after the election.
And everybody going, come what did we do? Sugar high in the next 2 weeks because early voting starts in 2 weeks for a lot of people.
Yeah, but I mean, we've talked about how her whole campaign has just been a rebranding of her. They haven't done a great job of it. I mean, they are trying as hard as they can, but she still hasn't talked to anybody.
It's
good.
Like
she doesn't talk to
everything else
anyone.
she said amounted to nothing. She's like, I'm gonna make it my goal to strengthen the middle class. Okay, how?
Right, but that's
and
what
moving
make
on.
sure that they can afford groceries. Okay, how?
That's what I'm getting at.
No, but that's the plan, and that's the best thing for her.
As if she shows up to the debate, I mean, it's the same thing that happened to Biden. The only difference will be instead of looking at the camera with your jaw wide open, just staring at it like Biden did, she's just gonna keep saying, "Excuse me, I'm talking. Excuse me, I'm talking. Excuse me, I'm talking." That's her only debate topic or
we're gonna
tactic.
do price controls.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
The things that have been instituted in every communist regime ever.
I've reached my limit because both of y'all are damn it. You're burdened by what was, and you're not focused on what is or what could be.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Yep.
So Yeah, Trump down 1% on Polymarket. Nevada is now, I mean, I still don't know why it's not turned at least pink. He's got almost he's got an 8% lead as far as the voting market or betting market, 11% or 10% in Arizona. Pennsylvania, she's got a slight margin. Pennsylvania is going to be the state to watch this year. If Pennsylvania goes whichever way Pennsylvania goes, I think that's who your president's going to be. Everything is running through Pennsylvania to get to the magic number. So we'll be keeping an eye on that one, and that'll be called early. And if any of them pull their shenanigans again, calling something with only 38% of the vote in, which is what I expect them to do in Pennsylvania.
I think you're going to see I think you're going to see a good boost for Trump from what's the past couple of moves. The RFK, what's his name? Is it RFK
Jr.?
Yeah. Anyway, that will boost, but also having actual famous people like the LA Raiders guys, like Crosby, who is one of the best defensive ends in the league, having people like that come out and openly support him because it's no longer stigmatized as it was.
Yeah.
At a greater sense. You know what I mean? People are finally being more comfortable. Like, no, dude, I'm cool with Trump.
Yeah. You can wear the hat in public now without having somebody try to punch you in the face.
They might try to shoot you, though.
That's true. But most of them don't believe in guns.
Dude, imagine if Brittany Mahomes red pills Taylor Swift. That would be bigger than if Jesus came down and said, hey, everybody, goes on CNN, I'm putting my support in for Trump. Nobody would give a shit. If Taylor Swift comes down and supports him, he would win 90%.
Well, and
easily.
It's funny you talk about Taylor Swift because that was the other thing that was supposed to happen on Thursday night. Beyonce
that's what
was
they
supposed
said.
to be at the convention. Which
was that the special guest that never showed
Well,
up?
no, that's what they were pretending
that's who
that
they said was going to be there.
They didn't say
then
it.
Said no showed. No, they leaked it out.
No, they leaked it out.
She was supposed to be there.
Right, but they didn't officially say it.
No, the campaign didn't officially say it, but they got the news out there.
The campaign said that the special guest was Kamala Harris, didn't they?
Well, she's special.
She's something special, all right.
But again, you've got to turn to saying that Beyonce is going to be there to get people to actually tune in, because the next day Trump, he didn't have the same numbers tuned in, but that was for a regular campaign event, not the final night of your convention where your nominee is speaking. So
also disappointed to see Keenan come out there with his giant Project 2025. I love his big puppy. Hey. You like my bubble?
And what was the other thing?
He was saying the dumb stuff that everybody else was saying. He was one of the ones where I'm immediately like, let me go into the document and see if what he's saying is true. Oh, look, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's weird that they had
to do their own research.
It's weird. They had that giant book, but apparently the print was so small nobody could actually read what it said, so they just kind of made it up.
Well, they didn't blow up the PDF before they actually hit print. They didn't fit the screen.
It's got tiny little rectangles printed on the center of these giant pages. Who are we kidding? There's nothing printed in there. They printed the cover. That's what they printed. The inside of the book is blank.
Hey, big puppy.
I didn't see Kel there, but Keenan was definitely there.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed too, because I thought he was a pretty funny guy, but apparently, well, the one I was most disappointed with was Ben Stiller. Like, really, dude? Really? They've all been coming after you for Tropic Thunder, and now you're coming out there to capitulate? What, in the hopes that they don't cancel the movie? It's been around for years. You're fine.
I mean, I bet he has a project that he's trying to get up and running, and the last thing you want to do is it's not just supporting Republicans. It's not supporting Democrats. That lack of support is just as dangerous in those groups like
Dude,
Hollywood.
It's worse because then nobody supports you. At least if you're openly conservative,
You can go
there's like
work for Daily Wire.
There's the Daily Wire. Clint Eastwood might pick you up and do some work with you. You might get Mel Gibson. He might come around.
John Voight.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that the reason that we don't see Vince Vaughn nearly as much as we should is because he's conservative. It's not working out very well for him.
Well, hold on. He has a new series on Apple TV, Bad Monkey. First 3 episodes, loved it. I'm really digging it.
But you haven't watched it yet. So
Chad, make a note of that. You got to like Vince Vaughn because Vince Vaughn is Vince Vaughn 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's very much Vince Vaughn in everything he does, but I love the character of Vince Vaughn. He is so Midwest, it's ridiculous.
Like, you're gonna like Bad Monkey. I'm digging it.
So good.
Have to check it out. So last topic, and then we're out of here.
Last topic. I thought we were done. I'm hungry.
Yeah, but I just thought about something the way that you guys were just talking. So coming out of the convention, all of the talk from the news has been, the Democrats, they're all aligned. We're all coming together behind
unity.
Kamala Harris.
So much unity.
Joy, unity, everything's great. I don't recall the RNC having a whole bunch of protesters from their own party outside of their own convention.
Well,
I mean, how much unity is there actually in the DNC right now? Because
dude, there is unity for everyone but the Jews and the Republicans. If you're not one of those two things, come on in. So much unity.
Well, no,
you.
But they'll bring Josh Shapiro on stage, just not let him be a VP nominee.
Well, man, he has such a great Barack impersonation. Did y'all hear him doing it?
No, I missed it.
Yeah.
You didn't hear his speech at the DNC?
Dude, he put those dramatic pauses in there.
Bro, it's almost as good as Ben Shapiro's.
Did he say
had that weird up talk in the second to last word of the sentence?
So,
by the way, Bad Monkey is actually based on the 2013 novel of the same name by I think it was Carl Hiaasen, if I remember correctly.
You're ridiculous.
I'm surprised you knew that.
Yep. And there's
confirmation.
Yep. Too easy.
Mad, what do you got coming up this week?
I got a new channel that I will be launching. It's unnamed at the moment. I may actually go with unnamed or untitled.
Format you're looking at for it?
Yeah, I have a couple ideas. I actually this is an exclusive reveal for your show, Brahma. I have a new producer.
Ooh, tell us more.
Yep. Can't. Let's just say I really dug his vibe. His name, Chevron Phil.
Nice.
He was a cool guy. Met him outside of a gas station.
Thus the Chevron.
More will be coming. I got to get him on social media. I have to teach him how to type.
Are you paying?
Pretty sure he can read. He needed work. I needed a producer. It was a match made in heaven. We vibed.
Nice. Looking forward to that.
Are you aware of his immigration status?
He's white.
His name's Phil.
Oh, okay.
But he has kind of an accent.
Slender, what do you got coming up?
Oh, great. Now I hired an illegal. Good thing I'm not paying him.
It was bound to happen. That's the only way you were getting a producer.
Just the usual stuff for us. We've got the Ascendant Art podcast, 9 p.m. Eastern, Friday night. And then still spinning up Ascendant Arcade. New content every weekday and all sorts of different gameplay. I've got clips from our Party Animals adventures, Elden Ring clips. I've got some other things I'm trying to clip together, but there's a game that is infuriating me even more than Elden Ring lately called Rain World. That one's pretty fun. So I might have some clips of that going in soon. Chained Together, lots of Chained Together adventures, all sorts of good stuff.
Nice. And as for me, I'll be doing the usual Monday night meltdown with comics, then Tuesday night gaming. Friday night SN and Art, and I think we've got a Christian panel this week on Carrie Smith's channel.
What about Thursday? What movie y'all doing for that one?
I don't know yet. I don't know what's coming out, so haven't gotten marching orders on what Thursday.
Is he frozen for you, Slender?
No. He appears to be frozen. Yep, there he is.
I don't know. It's still moving for me. Either way, thank you all for being here. Thanks for dealing with the technical difficulties with us. I think we're done with EVMux. I'm so sick of the issues with it. So
I will welcome you back with open arms.
I bet you will.
With arms wide open.
I don't have the money to go back to StreamYards without a watermark at the moment.
No, I still pay for it. I'll add you. Or you're already on there, right?
No. You've got little Chad as your collaborator or whatever. So hope everybody has a great week. We will catch you next week or on any of the shows we named.
Yeah. Unlike somebody else, I will add you immediately as we talk about it instead of not.
Nice.
He doesn't watch this show, Mad.